All right, I'm recording again now. So,
All right.
hey everybody, it's Brendan Farron, that Dexter Cow guy. With me today is Laura Christofk, the PDCA president. Well, thank you first off for being here with me. So,
My pleasure.
great. We're trying Zoom today, which is a new format for the show, but it seems so far so good for the little bit of talking we've done up till now.
Yep.
So I like it. Maybe it's something I'll keep revisiting when I can't travel to the places. So,
Yeah.
I had, what's today? Saturday the 18th, correct? So last week I had the live episode with the Cheney Dexter cattle. So thank you everybody for checking in with the Facebook Live. It is now up on YouTube with I had to preface it because it was chaos. I call it the cursed interview because it was the toughest one I've had equipment wise by far. Hopefully the last time all that stuff happens, but they're super, super great people, the nicest people you ever want to meet. So thank you again to Mark and Kathy from Cheney Dexter Cattle. Great sports and endured many issues. So thank you again. Thank you as always to my sponsors, Field and Stream Taxidermy in Howell, Michigan, specializing in trophy white-tailed deer and all other big game animals, as well as Matt and Emily Booby from Shamrock Meats LLC in Zeeland. Shamrock Meats, raised by our family to feed yours. Get your emails in to thatdextercowguy@gmail.com so you can get in the newsletter that I'm going to put it out on off weeks of the episodes. I'm actually releasing one tonight when I get done recording here. We'll have the raw footage of the Cheneys that we didn't want to release on YouTube. So entertaining a little bit, I guess. You can see how the two interviews differed between even though the questions were the same, the answers differed. So, so that being said, Laura, we've talked a bit already, and I really appreciate you guys coming on, especially the big wigs when you talk. You know, Judy was on from Legacy, and I think Jim Whale's going to be on at some point, but I know he's a nurse practitioner, so he's very busy right now. So as soon as maybe COVID's done. So I appreciate the big wigs coming on with me, some jackwagon from Michigan, as I call myself. So thank you.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're all just breeder.
That's it.
We're just like you.
I don't know if you want to be that, but so, well, how are things COVID-wise where you are in Northern California? I mean, obviously that's the hot button big news item right now.
I'm pretty tired of it. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty tired of it. Oh man.
I'm very.
Yeah. What a disruption.
Yeah, we're very tired of it here in Michigan.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, we're living through history right now. So
I just hope it's for a good cause at the end. I hope this is real and not like, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. It's like, this seems crazy, especially out here. You don't see anything here. That's why, I don't know. I hear there's a few cases, but man, It's not where we live. So I don't know, but it is what it is. And we all have to do what we have to do. And God, I hear it's coming to an end. Yay.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Thank God.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
So tell me how you got your start with cows and how you came to own Dexter's. I know you said that you were an LA person initially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I grew up in LA. I'm a city girl with a country girl's heart. And I grew up and got married, moved out. I moved up to the country up in Northern California. And then, long story, divorced, back, second marriage. I'm back here again into the same region because I love it so much. And so I've lived in Grass Valley for 25 years now. And we have about 11 acres. And so just like the name, it's Grass Valley. It's a lot of rain here and it gets a lot of grass in the spring. And we started out just getting some Angus from a local rancher. And by the end of the summer, then you butcher them out, that kind of a thing. And I didn't know anything about cows. I was a horse girl. And that experience just caused me to go, what? Because the grain at the end of that was just insane. The amount that they eat, and they are very high strung and just not a great experience. And I looked into looking for alternatives, like everyone found, well, I wonder what these Dexters are all about. And I heard about the beef, but I couldn't find anybody because there just weren't any in my area. Cause yeah, you tell me it's good beef, but I need to taste it. Sorry. And so I never got into it. And a few years later, my husband met a gal who she mentioned the word, and he went, hey, my wife mentioned that. She called the breeder that she got hers from. He sent me 2 steaks, and I was sold. And that was Wes Patton from Glenland Farms. And he's been kind of a mentor to me. He's a wonderful man. And I bought he had a farm, had just, the person died and he was dispersing their herd. I picked up 2 older cows with bull calves, steer calves at their side. And I think they were bred back at the time. And that's how I got started. They were 8 and 10 years old when I got them. And not handled, I would say, at all. But when you don't know any better, maybe that's a good thing. Your ignorance is bliss. So it was then that I got these nice little cows, and the gal that had told me about that had the Dexters said, well, you're going to milk them, aren't you? And I had never in my whole life ever thought about milking any kind of animal. But because I was into permaculture and the idea of small farming, that's just my niche. That's what I love. And I love like soil microbes and stuff like that. And I love doing it yourself and butchering my own animals. So it was like milking. How did I miss this? So eventually I trained my girls to milk, and it was love after that. I love my Dexters. I love milking them. I just think they're the greatest cows. And as time goes on, I just see them more and more the perfect cow for so many people. And so many people don't know about them. And I think that's what's exciting, is that even though Dexters have been around a long time, I just don't even think the surface has been scratched. And they're not a production animal, and yay. Like, no apologies for that. That used to feel a little like, just those little cows or whatever. But now the way our world is trending, I think we have the next best thing, because like even all the big cattle breeds, they're breeding back down again. They're bringing it back. They're realizing, man, man, they look really good in a picture and they look really good on stats, but in real life we're losing money, and we're going to start going backwards and breeding them smaller. And so and here we are sitting on the perfect little animal for so many things. I just think that the potential is just great. The timing is great. I think the next generation of farmers is really going to see a Dexter as a solution. They're going to need to multitask different from the way farms do now. And I think, man, if we do this right, that will be the breed that they will look into, because a cow has to do, just like people, I think a cow needs to do more than one thing. And when it only does this or only does that, that's just not practical anymore. And the idea, if you can have an animal that does both really well, then you might be able to like work from home and have your farm and make some money, or supplement your farm, your day job. I don't know, but I think going forward, like millennials, when I think about millennials, I think, you know what, they're gonna need something that is practical, functional, not super glamorous, because you want to know what, there's no money in that anymore. I think they're going to see they need something that can work for them. And so that's what I think. I think the potential for our breed is amazing. And sorry, I'm off on a tangent. I
totally agree. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that the economy, the world's just headed that way for small economical animals, that small acreage. People are going to, with small acreage.
Yeah. And I mean, because I think that the breed is I'll call it critiqued for, they don't produce very much milk, and they're too small, and they're this and that. And it's like, yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Because right. I don't need to marry my job. I don't need to go out and milk twice a day, every damn day of my life, whether my kid is sick or I'm sick or it's raining or something. When my Dexters are out there and I want to milk, I'll go milk. Other than that, I'll leave the calf on, because you know what? They don't produce like a dairy cow. They were designed for years, bred to do that. Dexters, no. We want fresh milk every day, not 4 gallons every day. You know? So right. I'm like, no more apologizing. like if I was talking to somebody yesterday, we called them the modern milk cow, because we need an animal that gives us flexibility. We cannot be out there every day. We're one human being and we have a family, and COVID happens, you know what I mean? It's just stuff happens. And if you have a dairy cow, trust me, it isn't optional if you're going to be milking. Right. Dexter's completely optional. And I think that right there is the selling point right there. You want 4 gallons, get 4 Dexters. Okay. But if something happens, guess what? Leave those calves on overnight and don't milk them in the morning and we'll be fine. Okay. How many breeds can you do that? None. Okay. Just none.
Right.
Then we go, and the fact that their babies are worth more dead than alive, quite frankly. I get more for grass-fed beef than I do for selling my breeding stock, because where I live, you can get a pretty high dollar for it. So the idea that the offspring is of high value, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see a losing situation. And they butcher out so well on grass. You don't need to put all this stupid grain in. I mean, we have every feature you could want in our breed.
Yep.
Now we just need to go market it and sing it to the world. And that's the job of the associations. And that's what we need to be doing.
Yep. And I can see, I see it growing. In the 5 years that I've been in Dexter, I can see it getting bigger and bigger. And I hope it continues that way.
Yeah.
And I think it will. The more people that see them for what they are, instead of just, these little baby cows, they're going to get it. I mean,
and I think if people see one type of Dexter, then they assume they're all like that. Like, well, let's face it. If somebody saw a little chondro carrier at the fair and they're thinking that's what a Dexter looks like, well, they wouldn't even recognize my cows, because my cows look like very small Angus, as they're beefy and they're not as short as the shorties, So I think it's just a missed education point. But the more we get Dexters out in public, and the more we get articles written about them, and the more interest and the more we can market them for what they actually are, then I just don't see how this breed cannot just expand. The market is not tied to little homesteads. Yep, it's our perfect cow. But I think the potential for expanding that is huge. I really do. Yeah, I agree.
Do. And what we're starting to see now, 5 years, 6-ish years into Dexter's, is a lot of return customers. A lot of people are coming back saying, "Oh, this cow is so great. I just can't believe we've had
awesome
for so long."
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're really getting a kick out of right now.
And what's interesting you would say that is, okay, not only are they really good for first-time cattle owners like me, like they're like training wheel cows, but I was at the Ohio, the Rocky Mountain Dexter Breeder show in Utah, and I love talking. So I remember the first year I went around to quite a few of those breeders there. And I said, so like, why Dexters? How'd you get into it? Because I find that really fascinating. And almost every one of them used to raise a different breed of cattle. So the idea is like, wow, everyone here used to do a different breed, and then they have switched because they like the Dexter breed so much better. And I don't see too many. I know 1 or 2 Dexter breeders that kind of switched over to a different breed, but I usually see it the other way, because they're like, oh, heck no, I would never own those big high maintenance animals again. And so there's a whole nother niche of people, like if they knew there was an easier way, they'd go, oh, heck yeah. So we just need to get it out there.
Yeah. And we're doing a good job, I think, but more can be done always. So,
always. Yes.
Yes. So tell me about your farm. You said you have 11 acres, and it's, grass. I don't even know the name of your farm. That's horrible. What is it? It's
I don't even have a name for my farm.
Okay.
I didn't get Dexter's to do anything fancy or crazy. And it was really a sideline thing to fire suppression to get the grass eaten down. And then because I love, permaculture and the idea of my own milking and cheese and stuff like that. So I never really did do a farm name. That's funny.
No, that's fine.
Just never, I didn't want to be a breeder, like to sell breeding stock. I mean, yeah, you have extra animals, but that wasn't my motivation. So I've never marketed my little getup as that. I mean, I've never had trouble selling them because I only have a few to sell.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I'm a small breeder. Yeah. So
How many head do you have?
it's hard to count them. So, because I have a lot of them farmed out to somebody that has a contract for beef.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think he's got four or five of mine. And cattle are funny, at least for me. Like if you have two, you really have six,
Right.
because you have, you know what I mean? So I didn't realize that until I had like 9 laying around, which doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but to me that felt like a lot of animals and too much, because it was just me. And that felt like too many animals. And when I pared my animals down, I think it really kind of brought the joy back to me. I felt like I had time to do what I wanted with those animals. When you have 9, you don't have time to spend much time with each of them. And I like doing that.
Sure.
And so to me, I prefer small, just because I'm only one person. And at the time, I've had my cows, 10 or 11 years now. I was a mom and a wife and, all that. So I just didn't, my husband wasn't involved as far as that goes. So it was kind of just me.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, what's your favorite Dexter memory? This is a newer question that I'm asking everybody on the show, because I know it's.
What's my favorite what? Dexter moment?
Memory?
Yes. You sent me your questions. Oh, my favorite Dexter moment. I had a picture of it on my refrigerator for the longest time, but it's been 10 years now, so I had to finally throw that out. Okay, my favorite moment was the first time. This sounds so stupid. But it's when I first was able to milk my 10-year-old cow, Ruby, the first time. And I finally, because I went really slow, so I never got kicked. I never had any grief because I never pushed her. And I worked it took me like a week, maybe a little more. I don't know how long it took. Doesn't matter how long it took, but it took a while. Because I said, with horses, you always want to end on a good note. Okay, there's definitely a way to do it. And so with my cattle, I do the same mentality. You always pick your battles and end on a good note. So instead of pushing her and forcing her, and because she was not comfortable with people, I was the first one that she's ever let handle that I know of. So I didn't want to have a bad foundation with her. So when I finally milked her for the first time, I did that first strip into a little shot glass, and it was filthy and dirty, and that's all I wanted. I said, I just want to get one strip off of you without any grief. And she did, and I got that quietly, gently stripped one out. She didn't do anything, and I stopped, because that's what you do. You end on a positive note. And the next day I went and took about 5 or 6 strips, no troubles. By about 4 days later, I was getting a gallon and a half of milk out of that 10-year-old cow that had never been touched. So
That's
that
awesome.
was my favorite Dexter moment, was that filthy. And I was so I came in like I did it. She didn't kill me. And because I didn't know, I've never milked. So it was really big for me. And that ugly, gross thing was my badge of honor.
For sure. That's awesome.
So pretty stupid, but
no, it's not at all stupid. That's awesome. I can't wait to well, I'll probably end up getting kicked just because things seem to like to kick me. So.
Never. He's never kicked the bucket. Just to go slow. Just go slow and take your time. There's no need to go fast and stop way before you should, and then so that they don't get angry at you is what I think. I think that's why I didn't know, but I'd say that's probably if I had a tip, it'd be stop way before you want to. When they're doing everything right, that's when you stop. Because when cows learn what it is you're after, they just want to give it to you so they can move on. Yeah, I'd rather not have you do this, but if you'll leave me alone, I'll give it to you so you can leave, okay? And
that's
then they do, and it's interesting. Yeah.
pretty accurate,
That's
good
what I
way to
thought.
put it, actually. So that I didn't think
Yeah.
about that way before, but you're right. They just
Yeah,
want to
I
give it
try
the
to
name on.
set them up for success.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about the PDCA.
Okay, so the PDCA,
For people that don't know, it's the Purebred Dexter Cattle Association. It's it's one of the three
so
major, the three
the
big ones.
PDCA, yeah, we are getting it. And so now, what is PDCA now? We got a couple of what I'm going to call mantras or mottos. Our tagline, Purebred Dexter Cattle Association North America, preserving and promoting the Dexter breed. That's the deal. Notice I didn't say promoting the association.
Right.
Because I really feel that the associations have been such a primary thing, for lack of a better word right now, that they missed their job, which was marketing Dexters, in my opinion. I think they have really missed that. So coming into the PDCA, I'm an entrepreneur. I see a huge opportunity. I see all this opportunity going wasted. And I'm like, no, we can so do something huge here. And I want to make, and our goal is to make registering Dexters easier, not harder. If we want to encourage people to register their animals, you don't make it harder for them. You make it easier. You make it affordable. You take away every excuse so that will encourage them to keep those animals in the gene pool.
Sure.
And that's what our belief is. Our last kind of motto that we really embrace, that really drives us as people that work at PDCA, is that we work for you. I really firmly believe that customer service is probably going to be what would drive people towards this. I mean, a registry is a registry, right? But I'm really mostly involved in, I really believe that we as an association work for our breeders. We have surveys. Every time they renew, there's a survey. And like, I have one right here. And we listen and we adapt our rules and we adapt our focus and our direction and and that's what we'll be talking about in a second. Like the simple questions, because we need to know about who are Dexter breeders and what size are they? I ask, how long have you owned them? And you can, I have when we get to our Dexters today, I'm going to talk to you about that. You're going to see the demographics because I've been taking 3 years of surveys, and at least I'll tell you on this end what that looks like. How many, what's the average Dexter breeder look like? How long have they owned them? How many breeding cows do they have? How many sires do they have? Is your ideal herd size what it is now? Would you rather have more or less? And why that's important is because it tells us where we need to go as an association to better put policies or programs or marketing in place that addresses who our Dexter breeders are. And I really thought most people would say, oh, I got too many Dexters. I want less Dexters. And when I looked at the pie, I know the pie chart says otherwise. Isn't that fascinating? Most people want more Dexters. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. And I asked them, why did you choose Dexters? Because those are the traits that if you chose them because of this, that, or the other, and most people chose them because of this, that, and the other, well, dang, we need to make sure that gets sung from the rooftops because that's really important.
Sure.
Then I let my breeders tell us what we should do. Should we advertise? Should we lower our rates? Where would you rather, if I could save you $5, would you rather pay the $5 and market Dexters on a national scale or save $5? It's interesting.
Sure.
It's interesting. And we ask them about the journal. So PDCA is really about members, and we're really going to be, I believe, on the two programs we're going to talk about next is what is going to really define not just PDCA. Honest to God, Brendan, it's not about PDCA. It's about the breed and the breeders. And that's where, yeah, I guess I'm competing because we're another option as far as a registry. But it isn't about that. It's about the breed. It truly is. So that's PDCA.
I think that's a fascinating thing that you guys are collecting data to focus, to have a focus one way or another to see what's important to the members. That's pretty neat. That's
and when
idea.
people, and when our members are on our website, we make it available. Comment. If you have something you want us to do, let us know. Like I remember there was a guy, and he must think he must have thought I blew him off. He wanted an article in our journal about, he called them terminal products. And, you know, we all talk about beef, we talk about milk, but you want to know what? There's a lot more under the hood than just those two. And he was interested in knowing more about that, thought I'd make a good article, and I agreed. And we just couldn't find the spot to do it. Now we're doing it for our Dexter's Today thing, an article about that. But I listen, and I read every email that comes through our PDCA email. I listen, and one lady says, we can't sell our cows on Craigslist anymore. Oh, well, where do you see what I got for you? So I'm listening. I'm listening to what the breeders are saying. I don't care if they're PDCA or ADCA members. I care that they're breeders, because together we're going to be able to do so much more. We really are. So I just don't want to get caught up on where your darn cow is registered, because that's just a small part of it. It really is. And pick wherever you feel is the most value to you. I mean, I'm neutral on that. I mean, I want PDCA. I don't care if it's the biggest association. I just want it to be its best.
Sure. And
that'll be whatever it will be. And if that is good for some, it won't be good for others. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So that's our goal, is just to be best. Well, you know, this is why we have, you know, different kinds of cars. Some people like this kind of car. Some people like that kind of car. Doesn't mean that I hate cars. Gotta have a car. So
So
yeah.
So I've interviewed with Legacy, and people from ADCA, higher up in the ADCA, and I always tell everybody I'm Switzerland. I mean, every to each their own. I just love the cows. White, red, black, brown.
Yes,
spotted.
and that's exactly where that's right, and that's where we should be. There's plenty of ways to collaborate. The associations, you know, I guess because I'm way neutral about all that, I don't really. I just see the opportunity of everyone collaborating instead of fighting, so that we can push the breed forward, because it's productive. That's what associations are supposed to do. They're supposed to be productive and move the ball forward for all the members.
I think it'll get there. I think the more shows that have both associations, together, the bad blood, I think, can eventually dissipate, and everybody's going to get along. That's you heard it here first.
And the funny thing is, and a lot of PDCA breeders are not interested in showing. It isn't that. It's more the mindset that I think is a little like, really? Like, who cares where your cows are registered? We need them out in public. Right. You know, that's the key. Not where they're registered, but whatever. Let's let that one go.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, my cows are ADCA registered and PDCA registered, so clearly I'm neutral. I don't care.
Sure.
I really
sure. I get it. I have one in both.
But I think a lot of us have dual or triple registered cattle. So, like, who cares? Whatever.
Right. So the PDCA, and this is one of the things. Well, I mean, I wanted to have you on, but I thought the two things that I saw on your website, because I periodically check the websites, you know, and I try to stay in the loop. I have this.
Good.
You guys have some cool updates.
Yeah, I'm going to hire you, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to hire you.
Right. Yeah, hire me, fire me, same day. It happened before.
I already offered to put your podcast on our new Dexter's Today thing that's coming up. So
yeah, I have more questions about that. I'm not against contributing. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm super, super excited about this. Yeah. Are we talking about that now?
Yeah, I want to know. So the dashboard is one, and I think I have a kind of a general idea. Just because we spoke a little bit, and I've researched other dashboards per se. So tell me about
the dashboard. The dashboard is a little different. Now, I'm going to talk about, okay, which one do you want to talk about first?
Well,
they're two different things. So you tell me which one you want to do
I
first.
guess the dashboard would be the first question because it's on the
Yeah.
website first.
Okay, so yeah, okay. So the dashboard is just a tool. Okay, because the goal of our association is to make it easier to own Dexters. And we have these amazing databases, us registries. Let me just tell you, we got a lot of information in these databases, but the members don't have access to it. They can't really benefit from it yet. And I said, that's just wrong. We need to make it so you guys can see your stuff, do your own thing, and a lot more self-serve that doesn't really require us, and it automates it on our end, which makes it great. But what our dashboard is going to do is you're going to be able to manage your herd on there very easily. Super simple. Like if you wanted to, is what I really want to push in our association, and I don't know if the ADCA does, they probably do, is the birth record. Because what happens with Dexters? One, a lot of people don't register them until they sell them because they don't want to spend the $20 or whatever it is. Now it's a little more on the ADCA side, but whatever. Well, it's just $20 on our side. But even then, people don't want to spend it until they have the animal sold because otherwise they might eat it. Why throw $20 to register an animal you're going to eat? There's all these reasons. But
Sure.
The problem with that is we really don't know the size of the U.S. Dexter herd. We don't know the trends. We don't know anything. So what we're going to do at PDCA, we started it, but I want to make it easier and free because free is the key. People usually do things that are free. Is we're going to do birth records and death notifications because between the two, you almost have a census that will tell you how many cows are walking the planet, how many of them went into the freezer, how many died of a nice old ripe age or whatever. And this is important information, kind of like I was saying on those other surveys that we
speaking my language
put out there.
I love data. Every decision is data
exactly.
based, so I love the fact that you guys are collecting data.
Exactly. And so we have all this data. And we have all your data, quite frankly, and all the data about your cow and its pedigree and its testing and everything in its lineage. I have everything to do with you and how many owners it got transferred to, and I've got all sorts of information. But now I want you to be able to have it. So this dashboard will allow you to see your profile, like here's everything about you and your farm, and you could go, oh wait, they have the wrong email address, and you can update it right then and there. You can keep your stuff current. I don't need to do that for you. This is what we do on every other website, so it's nothing earth-shattering. It's just nobody's really done it, and I want to make it easy for you. Then if you want to register, you just click on that cow, and then you can go and register it. You can do a birth record. It's going to be so easy, just so easy. That's the goal. And affordable, because if we automate with our dashboard, it makes it so we can keep our overhead and our staffing down as low as possible.
Sure.
So the expense of this dashboard, in theory, should pay for itself because we will need less people working and paying to do things. So because volunteers should do fun things, not yucky things.
Right.
Just my thought.
Right.
Just a thought. So that I'm really, really, really excited about that dashboard. We got a little hung up. I was hoping to have it out by April 1st. And we're still probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks off. But it just takes time to get all the bugs out.
Sure. Yeah.
It does, but it'll be worth the wait. I really think our breeders, when they go there, they're going to go, once they do it once, they're going to go, oh, this is so cool. And, what's really exciting, excuse me, is we're going to have a section in there. We're going to get the crux going where the database stuff. Then we're going to add more like a business side of it, because I really want to help those that are trying to sell their Dexter beef or sell their milk and sell their animals and make profit. I really want to have more of a farmerpreneur section in there called My Business, but I haven't fleshed it all the way out because I have to prioritize what goes first. But coming up soon, that's going to be an interesting thing, because I think this dashboard, because you'll be able to do it off your cell phone as well, really simply, I think this could be a really good herd management tool, a lot easier than some of the cattle management tools that are out there right now. They're like over the top. They're not designed for Dexter breeders. Like, we don't do EPD and all sorts of crazy things. So this is going to be designed for us and what I think is functional. So I'm excited about that. So it'll be a really neat tool, and you could download your certificate from there. I'm trying to get it so that you can even email that to a potential buyer. But with our Dexter's Today site, I'm not sure if you're going to need to, because the Dexter's Today thing is going to be pretty dang cool, and I'll explain that next.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have a software developer on that already, but I have a good connection for a software developer. If the need should ever arise, let me know. At least give him a shot. But
okay, well, I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, it sounds really cool, because like you said, it's going to be.
I think it's going to be
a user interface is pretty neat, and then the data will all be stored.
Yeah, it's all. We already have the data. It's the data we have, and you'll be able to. And what I really like now. Here's another thing. Because you're going to have a transaction log. Like if you did a registration and you did a transfer and you did a membership renewal, whatever. So there'll be a transaction log, because I'll tell you what's interesting that I've learned. People renew their memberships multiple times in a cycle because they don't realize they had already done it. And I said, and we have to credit them. And I think that's so sad. And this way you would know, because everything's automated. You'd get a reminder that says, hey, your membership's due now. And there it is right in your dashboard. And you can just click pay right then and there. Everything will just be simple, one click.
I like
because Dexter breeders, I've learned, we like it simple. You don't want to go on there and have 50 ways to get to the same information. Give me one way to get there, or else my head is spinning. I keep it simple. And so I think it's going to be a really, really neat tool.
Sounds like it. It sounds like I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
At least I got
me
one
too.
animal in now, so maybe I'll see what we can follow it up and get more. Excuse me.
You're gonna love it.
So tell me about the Dexter's Today e-journal. I know.
Okay.
You touched a little bit about it.
Yeah. Okay. Dexter's Today, kind of like killing two birds with one stone. Here was the dilemma I had at PDCA. I give out these surveys and I say, hey, what do you think PDCA should do? 99% of breeders say PDCA should market the breed on a national level to increase the demand for Dexters. 99%. Very rarely are the other options clicked. So that tells me they expect us to do marketing. Then another question is, I'll tell you the questions I have right here. The other question was,
if you wanted to email me
it was about our Dexter Cattle Journal. People love it. That was probably when I took over, that was probably the only thing that kept PDCA alive, was people loved their journal. It was a quality magazine, really good content. And then I came along, I'm a graphic designer by trade, so we kind of upped the game a little bit, started making it even prettier. But our members really like that. But here's the problem. That is hugely expensive, and it doesn't market Dexters. It's like singing to the choir. So I'm spending all this money to sell Dexters to Dexter breeders? Like, Kate, we've been doing this for how long? No, we need that money spent outside of the Dexter community to do exactly what you want us to do, increase the demand for Dexters, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, we only have so much money. I can't do both well. So it's like, you know what? That magazine, and not only that, it's months late. By the time you produce it, print it, and mail it, it's a good 6-week window or more. And so it never felt current. And it's like, gosh, we need a solution. And so obviously the best marketing dollar is on online marketing. And we have not done it. I'm like, we need to quit this. Our Dexters Today is going to be, when we go market, it will be where people that don't know about Dexter's will come. They will learn about Dexter's there. They will learn why they need a Dexter. They will market to the why they need a Dexter. Then it's also going to have a classifieds, because people used to sell on Facebook and they do sell on Craigslist, but it's still, when I've talked to so many breeders, they were looking for specific things and they just couldn't find what they were looking for. And I don't know why we don't have this, but we're having it now. If you're going to be able, and you don't have to be a PDCA member. Dexter's today is not PDCA. Yes, PDCA is providing it, but it is not about that. It's completely neutral. You'll go on there, list Dexter's, but more than that, you're going to be able to put your own farm profile on there, because I think that's more important than this little heifer that looks like any other heifer picture. You know, what's more important is a buyer buys you. They have to, they need to know that you're going to be there. You're going to help mentor them. If there's a problem, you're going to have their back. And so this will be a way for breeders to have their profiles on there and sell it, baby. Tell them what your strengths are. If I were a buyer, tell me why I should buy from you. You know, what is your specialty? Are you a milker? Tell me all about why I need to buy your milk cows and not somebody else's milk cows. And then you'll be able to go find the animals that they have for sale. Or you could just go randomly and search. I want red, I want A2, and I want pulled. Click, click, click. And then everything on there will show up. Because I have seen that a lot of buyers don't stay local.
Right.
They go all across the country. So the fact that we're all split up is crazy. Yes, exactly. That's most. And I find that fascinating. And this will be a way for breeders to have a place to go. It's not about the associations. We're not going to do comments or anything like that. But you're going to be able to list your animals, list yourself, be found, because as we market out and reach out, then that will bring the new buyers there. And that's how they will find Dexter breeders, in a very neutral, professional, simple format. They'll be able to contact, a buyer will be able to contact you right from that site. They don't have to go to their email. Oh, what's your email? No, you just click the button and go, just like any other modern website does.
Sure.
This is not rocket science. It's just needed. It's been needed, and we're doing it. And I'm so excited about it. And then our blogs, our articles that used to be in our Dexter Cattle Journal, that's what I'm kind of calling an e-journal. That we're not going to do the printed thing, because we need to spend the money expanding the market. We really need to focus on expanding the market. And so we're not going to do our printed version, fancy version anymore. I will still do a PDCA newsletter, a typical newsletter to inform our members, for those that just will not go online, and there's still quite a few of those. That's fine. It'll be your basic, photocopied look, nothing fancy.
Sure.
And I think it'll move the ball forward a lot for the Dexter breed. I hope the intent is to make it as neutral as I can, and yet make it convenient for our breeders to use it too. I mean, there will be a link to get to our website. It's just like PDCA and a little 4 letters, and you can click on it and then go to your dashboard. So it'll be super practical, but I'm not trying to promote the breed. And I'm 99% sure that it will look that way as well. And I hope that every Dexter breeder will be thrilled that this tool will be available to them and participate without conflict, because we need a neutral spot. And I'm hoping Dexter's today will be that. I really do. That's my heart and soul. I really want that to be a healing place, and a place where we can all do business and love on the breed, share.
It's a good start. It sounds like,
Yeah.
if it's open to everyone, I don't see why people wouldn't use it.
Yes.
If nothing else, just to get their picture.
Yeah, I hope. yeah, and it'll be free to subscribe, because I'm gonna market to you as far as when we get coupon. Because what I don't want is I don't want to put ads on it if I don't have to. The only thing I want advertised on there are the breeders.
Okay.
And even then, they're not really advertised. You can just, I think I'm going to do a little bit of a higher, it's free subscription. But if you wanted to be like featured or highlighted, which not every breeder does, but those that do, well, there's your opportunity. You know, here's your opportunity. It's not going to be expensive or anything. But so the way I kind of want to try something. And here I'm just thinking out loud to you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Air this, but I think I want to do things differently. So rather than get advertisers on there, which of course should pay for some of the bread and butter of it, I'm hoping to figure out a way to maybe add value by offering, instead of an advertiser advertising, which I hate their ads on there, by the way. I would rather them, don't give me your advertising dollar. You give me a coupon that I can give to my members, and then I'll put you on. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So rather than paying me $300 to put their ad on my website, it's like, how about I let you go on there for free, but now you give me a 10% discount coupon number that I can give to my subscribers.
I like
so that gives them, yeah. So that's kind of, because we don't need to make a huge profit at this. Okay. We're a nonprofit. It's got to pay for the bills for sure.
Sure.
But I really think I helped with the National Western Stock Show as far as the back end of it, getting the sponsors, handling how they do sponsorships through the PDCA website, just to handle so it was easy for people to pay because we have the PayPal account set up. So we gave them a page and people would donate from there. And what was fascinating to me, Brendan, was how willing and how wonderful so many breeders wanted to support that. And it was such an eye-opener. And it wasn't about breed associations. It was just about Dexters and how willingly they participated. And man, they got thousands of dollars, like within a couple weeks, right?
Sure.
And I thought, I think that potential is there for this as well. If we want to do something extraordinary, then we all need to pony up. And I look at this tool in that way. I don't want to put ads. I don't think anybody appreciates ads. Yes, there's going to be products, but you're going to go search for them in the classifieds, but they're not going to be like banner ads. I just hate banner ads, and I hate those ones on the side. I hate all those ads. And I'm really going to try to stay away from that. And I think everyone will appreciate that.
Sure.
So we'll see.
Sure.
So Dexter's today will have the classifieds, the breeder profiles. If you just subscribe as a breeder, you'll be in the list. People can find you. But if you wanted to be profiled with your farm and pictures and your cattle, it's a cool, slick setup. Then that will be we'll call it, I don't know what we're going to call it, maybe featured breeder or something like that. So I don't want to exclude anyone. Meaning, if you're just like me, a gal that lives in Grass Valley, has a couple cows, I just want to be on your breeder list. So if somebody is want to look local, they'll find me. And so I want to make that hugely available. Not about associations.
Sounds, in my mind's eye, it's a pretty great thing. So
and then the blog will have the articles, because here's when we were doing Dexter's today, it started out as just a replacement for the Dexter Cattle Journal, but it would be online. I'd shoot you an email and said, here's a few tidbits of the latest content. You'd click on whatever one interests you or not, and then you'd go and you'd read it. That's all. It was going to replace the journal. But then I saw the potential for all the other functionality. It's like, wait a minute, we can't not do all this. We have to do everything. So that's why we added in the classifieds and the breeder feature thing. And what else is on that? Let me think if there's anything else in there. And I'm not just limiting it to cattle. We can sell, like if you Brendan, were selling, I don't know, agricultural equipment. You could list on there. And Dexter breeders like to support other Dexter breeders, and it's great. There's nothing wrong with that. So you could put, I don't care, put whatever you want in that classified. Once it's set up, makes no difference. You go search whatever you want. There'll be different categories to browse. But the content, the blog content, I'll call it blog because that's just kind of the terminology. They're just articles.
Okay.
The goal of that is to inspire and inform. I really want to inspire Dexter breeders. I want to empower them with information. I want to make it easier for them to find it. If you're new, you need to learn from the old. And that's my problem that I don't like about Facebook. Not Facebook. It's just that great things get shared and then lost on there because they're 1,000 miles down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that should be cataloged. We should archive that, you know? And that's why I think we need a little clearinghouse for those kind of really neat articles that so much experience is out there and it feels like it just gets wasted on Facebook.
I get
it.
Because
it isn't packaged. You know, it's not packaged. You can't find it later. And people ask the same question over and over again as they come in.
At what age do
and
you
it's like,
your steers?
What what does this cow look pregnant? If I see that one more time, I'm going to die, right?
Yeah. When does this cow do?
But they don't know.
Right. No, and I'm not trying to belittle anybody for asking. By all means, ask.
No, me neither.
I still ask the dumbest questions.
But you know what I mean.
So
yeah. And what's cool about it? Oh yeah, that's the last thing that I'm going to add. So the survey thing I told you about, when I took my my stats, punched them in and looked at it, it was like, wow, that is the coolest visual thing. Like, who knew that were the answers to these, right? And I realized these surveys, these need to be out to not our survey. I don't care about these, but there's so many really cool questions that we could ask breeders that then come back to that site and see what that looks like on a pie chart. And I think you will be floored. Like just like you were saying, like, how old is my cow when I butcher him, right? What's the answer? There's no right and wrong, but it's interesting. It would be an interesting question to see what across the board. How old do people? But do you wait till they're 2? Like, what's the magic number? I don't know. There's so many interesting questions about the way we do things that I think are just fascinating. And I love the idea of having these I just hate long surveys. Ask me 1, maybe 2 questions. That's it. That's all I have time for. I'm busy. Right. So just 1 question. And then you could go see right then and there it is, and you answer the question and you can see the pie chart move. I don't know, depends on how many people are on the pie chart, but I don't know if it could be automatic, but I think it can be. And I love the idea because I think it tells us a lot about who we are as breeders. And I think it's, I don't know, data's power. I think we might change the way we think about our breed even if we see what's going on out there.
I mean, there's no doubt. And, you know, a lot of that is why I started doing the podcast, is because I had a lot of 101 questions, but I think a lot of people would respond to me better if hey, you want to be on my show? But what I learned, the Dexter community in general is just amazing as far as wanting to help each other. So, it sounds good. The blog stuff sounds great. And that's
I am so excited about that. I can't wait. And that I'm hoping I was trying to launch both of them by April 1st, but I think this other one is 2 or 3 weeks off. Dexter's today is 2 or 3 weeks off. I think the other one is probably 4 to 6 weeks off the dashboard. So they're hanging there. I'm just one human being and I'm kind of spearheading it and I really want certain things. So and then I got to let my board kick it around and yeah. You know, and that's, you know what, you know how you asked me about PDCA?
Mm-hmm.
I got to say one thing about PDCA that I'm really, really proud about.
Sure.
We unfortunately didn't have enough active regional members when I took over. And so as I met people in Ohio and in Utah, and wherever, I met what I feel was a broad range of breeders. And what I'm super proud about PDCA is that every one of our board members has a different bent. On purpose. It makes for very strange debates. I have a legacy breeder. I have Mike Mendenhall. I needed a legacy breeder. I need their mindset. I don't want them left behind. Whatever it is their passion is, I want them. I have hand milkers. I have grass-fed beef producers, not just in a little way, big way. So I have that covered. I have old school cattle people. I have little bomb and pop like me. I have homesteaders. I deliberately picked different people because they were not like the other people that were on the board. And I really feel, because we redid our bylaws, and I really feel that ended up being such a strength for our association, because I really felt like there was no Dexter left behind. There's shorties. There's some of ours do crossbreeding. There's just whatever, just across the board. Some are into horns, some are into polled, some are into testing, some are not. Just every single thing is in the mix. And I really feel that has made our policy and decision-making process so much stronger, because we each think so differently and have a different mindset. And it really, I think that diversity has really served us well. And I'm hoping if somebody drops off our board, I'm hoping to replace whatever that little niche was. We got to get somebody to fill the niche, not so much the region, but the type of breeder that they are.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Sorry.
That's what diversity is about. I mean, everybody brings something different.
Yeah.
To the table.
I don't want, and none of them think like I'm so different, and from like, they reel me in. Like I get going, they're like, hey, no, wait a minute. And they kind of bring me back, which is great, because we don't all think alike. And I like that. We are not all into, I don't show my cattle at all. Trust me, I have no intentions. I don't care.
Right.
Some do. Great. That's great. Let's make sure we don't lose sight of their needs. And I think that's been our strength. And I'm hoping going forward, that's going to make all of our policies and rules and regs, for lack of a better word, kind of make sure we don't leave anybody out. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're on the right track. And especially with the dashboard and the e-journal, Dexter,
Yeah.
it sounds like that's the way you guys are headed, and that's great.
I'm excited.
That way. And it doesn't sound like you're being you're not excluding anybody per organization. So that's also great. So I mean, steps in the right direction for, I'm putting out the olive branch, so to speak. So hopefully.
Well, I wasn't involved in all that political stuff. I came in way after all that, and I can't fix all that, but I'm just, my mindset is I'm just moving forward. And I've met plenty of ADCA board members, and I got no beef. I don't, no pun intended. I mean, I just think we could do so much more together.
Sure.
Really, that's my firm belief. We can do so much more together. There's just no need for the nastiness or whatever. It's just not necessary. Sure. And, but on the flip side, and this side's, open to that, but it takes two. And so I can't control the other side. And, but I certainly don't critique it or whatever. It just is what it is. I'll say that. But we're just going to move forward and do our best job at what we think our job is.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you want to add, or anything I should have asked but I didn't ask?
Oh, let me see, my dear. There's one question. You said that. I thought that was an interesting thing. I think I probably covered it. No, I think allowing me to just share my thoughts on the two registries, because it is such a bone of contention to this day, and it's really sad.
Sure.
It really, it's a sad thing. And yeah, I hope one day, I believe, because I get a little scared sometimes, because I think, is PDCA continuing that conflict by existing? But I think no. I think no. And I told you earlier, I really think that any business, if you don't have competition, you're not going to do as good of a job. If you have really stiff competition, you're going to up your game. And so I think, no, PDCA is doing us ADCA members a really good favor. We're pushing it. We're raising the bar, and that's going to cause their association to have to raise the bar. You're either going to have to catch up or whatever, because we're moving forward. And if you don't, you have competition. And so I think that will cause both associations to be very aware that you better be really good at it, or you're going to lose your members, your customers.
Sure.
So who wins? Who wins? The breeders win. Any association, that competition between the two associations, and we'll call it competition, that will drive us to be better associations.
I agree.
I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
As long as it remains friendly, I agree. I don't want to see any animosity
I'm friendly.
Right. No.
Yeah. And I don't, you know what? I really don't want to see, like, the goal is not to replace and remove ADCA. My God, why? There's no need. There's just no need.
Sure.
If we create a neutral environment, then let you just pick whichever one you feel has value for you.
Right.
There's just no need. And there's no need to hate somebody because their animals aren't in that association. They're just, whatever, pick it. Let's just let that one go, shall we?
Yep, teach their own. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fine. And I've met a lot of nice breeders that are 100% will never not be ADCA members. That's okay. That's okay.
Right.
I hope they don't hate me because I'm not. I'm a rule breaker. So as soon as you add more rules onto anything, I'm like, yeah, ain't doing that. It's just not going to work for me. So just fundamentally, I just can't fit into the ADCA profile because I'm just so casual about things that they're very serious and strict, and I'm very not that. So
well, that's a good thing too. So, well, thank you again for coming on. I do appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, and I'm gonna have.
And I appreciate that you're out there, talking to Dexter breeders, and I think it's going to help everyone. And I'm glad you're out there doing it.
Thanks. I hope so.
Yeah.
Reminder: I'll have our PDCA info posted on the description when this hits YouTube. So and I'll have you email me or text me any other contact info you want posted or anything you'd like posted with the description. And then I'll shoot you.
No, you can reach us just off our website. It's fine. Just
okay.
It's super simple. And if you are you filming this still?
Yep, I'm still recording.
I just know if you want me to send you a logo or something.
Yeah, for sure.
The PDCA logo. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Okay.
So.
And can I do anything for you?
I don't think so. I mean, just share with your users and tell them about the podcast and tell them, hey, if they want to come on, get a hold of me. I love having everybody.
Let's do it.
So for sure.
Let's do it. You tell me who you want to talk to. I'll make it happen.
All right. So sounds good. So
I could recommend a few people.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm looking for some shorty breeders. They seem to not like to come on because I think they think they're going to get picked on, and that's not the case. But
no way. Shorties are. I'll tell you. When I grow up, I'm going to have shorties. I tell you. I saw. I haven't seen. When I went to Ohio, you know who had some really nice shorties? Paul Whittington, very sweet man. And when I saw his shorties, I was immediately converted. It was like the older I get, the more I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute. His cows were so nice. And they were such good specimens that it makes me want to have shorties.
Oh.
Yeah.
So excuse me. I'm sure I'll shoot you a text in the next weeks or so to see about it. Because I would love to talk to somebody that's proud of their shorties. Because I don't want to pick on anybody on this show, but a couple people have denied me.
I think the shorties, because genetically, now I know there's a big controversy, and it's only between two people that I know of on Facebook. But when breeders use that genetic tool wisely, I mean, why not? Whatever. I know some people say you can do the same thing without that horrible gene in there. Yeah, okay.
To each their own.
But you know what? I hope you're not filming this. PDCA, well, we changed. Well, because the shorty thing is it's no longer the killer it used to be if you know what you're doing, right? So we changed our certified registration was about exactly that. There was a lot of dead calves back in the day when our certified registry first became an option in our registration. And because they wanted breeders to test for it, just so you could identify who had it and who didn't, okay? Because it was new at the time.
Sure.
That's how old that certified registration was back. But now, because people looked for shorties, we didn't have to, but we felt it was in the best interest, because it was almost like a negative that if you showed you were chondro positive, it was a negative. It's like, in the day that was a negative. Now, no, but you just need to know you have a carrier. Yep. So we changed it to just tested. Now, whether they're positive or negative, we're not going to take a stand on it, because it's not our place. It's the breeders to decide. You want a carrier that you can look and see. If you don't, you can look and see. So, but when you say, that they don't want to get beat up, it's like, I don't think it's the negative thing that it used to be.
Yeah, I don't think there's a stigma.
It isn't to me. It is. I think to maybe some of the older people, but once you understand it and you see some quality animals, I'm sorry, it's hard to throw stones at it.
Super cute.
It's beautiful.
So, all right. Well, I want to remind everybody that upcoming episodes, we have Michigan again. The COVID-19 thing is making the schedule zany for sure. But we're gonna keep putting out stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the Michigan Cattlemen is coming on. They were supposed to be on the 4th, but the show got canceled. The Beef Expo. Michigan Large Animal Vet is coming on to talk about some first aid and 101 and what they have on hand in your crash cart per se. But I have my projects going on. The paddock I've been working on, I have clips here and there of it. I have my milking stanchion that we've talked about. That's coming up. 2 Men and a Hen from right here in Michigan are going to come on. They've done some cool stuff at their farm, and they seem like some really fun guys to talk to. Hopefully we can get Jim Whale on here at some point. I know he's busy with the corona stuff because he's a nurse practitioner. And I think I'm going to reach back out to the Dexter Cattle Australia now that the fires are under control. And hopefully they're rebuilt a bit. I'd love to speak with them a little. I've seen Crocodile Dundee and I drank a Foster's, so I think I'm ready for Australia. So everybody, please, comment, like, share, subscribe, and tell me how I can improve the show, or show ideas. And thanks for listening. And thank you again, Laura. And I can't thank you guys enough for giving me some time. And get out there, love your Dexters, and remember to be positive ambassadors of our breed. So until next time.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time.
Great.